What's going on, child? Now today, oh my god, learning disability kicked in fast. We keeping that shit in too. What's going on, child? It's your most favorite diabetic YouTuber in the whole entire world. Back with another video. Now today we are checking out the Crashout duo that had Philadelphia and Chaos. Now, of course, I really don't know any information on this. Maybe I do, but most likely I probably don't. But I seen this video pop up, so I was like, yeah, let's check this out. So shout out to Funa for the video I'm reacting to. And before we get any further, I have to say this is all alleged for safety, and also it is all love, no hate. Alright, child, no more hesitations. Let's get into the video now.
Prosecutors unveiled a large-scale indictment breaking down one of the deadliest wars in the city. 19 people were charged, linking them to over 24 shootings and 5 homicides, all within a 2-year span. In this indictment, 2 people in particular from the same crew stood out for their callousness and complete disregard for human life. In this video, we'll be telling their story. Baby Yop, real name Stephen Weddington, and Mir Stacks, aka Little Mir, or LM, real name Jameer Burbage, are 2 gang members from Philadelphia. Baby Yop was a member of a gang called YBC, standing for Young Bag Chasers, and Mir was a member of a gang called YFA. Although YBC is from West Philadelphia and YFA are from North Philly, they are closely allied with one another. YBC's most known member, YBC Duel, stated in an interview that YFA are the younger generation of YBC. YBC/YFA are cool with sets such as PNB/The Tortures. YBC/YFA beef with sets such as CCK, The Mont, and PSK. Both Mir and Yop were young members eager to prove themselves. In fact, there's an old video of YBC Duo teasing Mir for not successfully killing anyone yet.
He ranked too. Well, bro ain't ranked, but he be trying.
He be trying is wild.
He ranked. He be trying.
Well, things would soon change, and Yop and Mir would go on to commit heinous acts, garnering them respect from their peers in the streets. YBC would find themselves in beef that would lead to bloodshed, which would then lead to all-out war.
R.I.P.
On May 29, 2019, YBC Josh, renamed Joshua Munson, was in the 4200 block of Wyalusing Avenue when a man driving a gold Dodge Ram pickup truck pulled up and parked nearby. The man then proceeded to hop out of the truck with a gun, run up to Josh, and shoot him multiple times. The shooter then ran back to the truck and fled the scene. Josh was taken to Presbyterian Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at just 18 years old. Josh was YBC's first loss in this massive gang war. In the years following Josh's death, YBC would be linked to numerous shootings and find themselves involved in beef with hoods throughout the city. Mir and Yop would establish reputations in the streets as being top shooters for YBC and find themselves right in the middle of the war. With the war now fully in motion, Mir would allegedly go on a shooting spree. On September 22, 2022, Mir and other members of YBC/YFA were riding in a car near Oxford Street when they spotted their ops in a car behind them. They then parked their vehicle and waited for the car to drive by them. Once the car was close to them, Mir and his affiliates hopped out of their car and opened fire on the passing vehicle, letting off nearly 50 shots. The victim car drove away as it was being riddled with bullets, but eventually crashed. A man in his 20s was in the car and was shot in the leg, but survived his injuries after going to the hospital. Fortunately, no one died in this incident, but sadly, an 8-year-old girl was grazed in the head by a stray bullet fired by YBC. Mir would get charged for this incident years down the line. About 2 weeks after this incident, on October 7, 2022, Mir and other members of YBC/YFA opened fire on multiple rival gang members on Wallace Street, but luckily no one was killed. Then, 3 weeks after that, on October 29, 2022, a group of people gathered at the corner of 39th and Aspen Street, holding a memorial for a deceased man from their hood. At around 6:45 p.m., gunmen opened fire into the crowd. 3 people were shot. A 42-year-old woman was shot in the back and stomach. A 35-year-old man was grazed in the back, and a 26-year-old man was shot in the buttocks. All victims were transported to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center and survived their injuries. Mir would
That's good,
eventually
though.
be charged with both of these shootings years down the line. Following this shooting spree, YBC would lose 2 beloved members in a 6-month span, leading Yop and Mir to start killing left and right.
R.I.P.
On December 5th, 2022, a beloved member and founder of YBC named J100, renamed Tajay Brooks, was standing outside on Paris Street when gunmen suddenly approached and opened fire, hitting him multiple times. The shooting happened quickly, and the attackers fled before police arrived. Jay was rushed to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, but the gunshots were too severe, and he was pronounced dead shortly afterward at just 21 years old. As I mentioned earlier, one of YBC's main enemies was CCK, and they were allegedly responsible for Jay's murder. Years down the line, 3 CCK members named G-Wick, Pistol Pete, and Crazy Ron would be charged with his murder. Unfortunately for YBC, 6 months later, they would lose another member.
R.I.P.
On May 16, 2023, a YBC member named Moneymaking T.O., renamed Kamir Scott, was in the 600 block of North Preston Street when gunmen pulled up and shot him multiple times. He was rushed to Penn Presbyterian Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at just 20 years old. T.O. was allegedly killed by members of PSK. As I mentioned earlier, PSK, standing for Parkside Killers, are one of YBC/YFA's main enemies. In fact, a member of PSK named WAP would get charged for T.O.'s murder years later. Following T.O.'s murder, Mir and Yop would allegedly attempt to retaliate for him by shooting up PSK's hood back to back.
No. R.I.P.
Immediately following the death of T.O., YBC/YFA were sliding on PSK nonstop. Less than 2 weeks after T.O.'s death, on May 27, 2023, YBC members committed a shooting targeting members that injured 3 people. They all survived their injuries. 3 days later, on May 30th, 2023, YBC committed another shooting targeting PSK members, but luckily no one died. As you can see, YBC/YFA were hungry to kill a member of PSK as get back for T.O. They were so desperate to avenge T.O.'s death that they would end up killing an innocent person, confusing him for an op. On July 8th, 2023, a man named Reefy, renamed Sharif King, was shot and killed. Earlier in the day, several men allegedly stole a woman's black Acura during a gunpoint carjacking in North Philadelphia. According to prosecutors, that stolen vehicle was then used hours later during the shooting that killed Reefy. That afternoon, the suspects drove the Acura to the 5200 block of West Jefferson Street and parked outside a corner store. Prosecutors said they sat there for nearly half an hour, watching the street and waiting for someone they believed might be a member of PSK. Eventually, Reefy walked past the store. Once Reefy walked by, the suspects opened fire on him. Then, 3 of them hopped out of their car and continued shooting. Reefy was shot up to 15 times and was rushed to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, where he later died at just 34 years old. Despite Reefy being innocent, YBC members still celebrated and claimed that T.O. was successfully avenged.
Oh, we got a picture of Reefy's face there. His life didn't matter. When T.O. died, I showed Parkside that I'm really active.
Baby Yop was allegedly one of the gunmen in this incident, and he would get charged for it years down the line. Following this incident, Mir and Yop would allegedly go on to commit 2 murders together. As discussed earlier, YBC has a deep hatred for CCK as they have lost members to them, so they were eager to kill one of them whenever the opportunity arose. On October 10, 2023, Yop got into a shootout with a member of CCK named Honcho, but neither of them were hit. Just 2 months after that, Yop and Mir would allegedly kill a beloved affiliate of CCK. On the evening of December 7, 2023, an affiliate of CCK named Booga, renamed Zaire Stafford, had finished working his shift at a McDonald's in North Philly. After leaving work, he began walking through the neighborhood near the restaurant. Not long after leaving the building, multiple gunmen opened fire on him, shooting him repeatedly in the street. Booga was hit more than a dozen times. He was rushed to a hospital, but the injuries were fatal, and he died shortly afterward at just 22 years old. Booga was actually the younger brother of a well-known rapper/CCK member named Sonny Goon. YBC would diss Booga endlessly after his murder and frequently make references to McDonald's in their music and social media antics. Baby Yop and Mir were allegedly 2 of the gunmen in this incident. They would both be charged for it years later. Yup and Mir would then go on to allegedly commit another murder against a CCK member about 5 months later.
R.I.P.
On the night of May 18th, 2024, a member of CCK named Kwa, real name Quadir Cheeks, was outside a Chinese restaurant on the 5400 block of Baltimore Avenue in West Philadelphia. As he stood outside near the sidewalk, multiple gunmen approached the area. Without warning, they opened fire on him, striking him several times. Kwa was taken to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, but he died from the gunshot wounds at just 22 years old. A member of PNB named Haas allegedly used a female's Instagram account to catfish him and set him up to be killed. Mir and Yap were allegedly two of the shooters and were eventually charged for it years later. Things would go bad for YBC after this. Their most famous member, YBC Duel, was shot and killed on August 23, 2024. About a year and a half after that, YBC/YFA would be included in a massive indictment that would land most of their members behind bars, including Mir and Yap.
I honestly forgot this.
On February 25th, 2026, the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office, along with the Philadelphia Police Department Federal Bureau of Investigation and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, announced the results of a 2-year grand jury investigation. Authorities charged 19 people connected to several street groups, including YBC, CCK, and PSK, for their roles in 21 shootings across Philadelphia. Mir and Yap were among those arrested, and they were charged with several of the shootings and homicides mentioned in this video. If convicted, they will likely spend the rest of their life behind bars. RIP to everyone that passed away.
Yeah, it ain't worth it. Obviously, I'm a civilian, so I can't really speak too much on that or whatever, but no matter what, I want to be all peace and love in the world, so yeah, I know there's things that I don't understand in that and all that type of stuff, but at the same time, peace and love in the world. But this is crazy, and it is all alleged. They have not been proven guilty or anything, so yeah, but shit just sounds crazy. Like, this is real life going on. But, of course, all alleged. But, yeah, that's really all I gotta say. But I do want to know what y'all think. What you want to see your boy make in the comment section down below. But, like I said, that's all I got for y'all. Peace.